Good evening, my name is Jonathan Lockman. I'm with Nelson Pope and Voorhees, and I'm an urban planner, a consultant to villages and towns. Our firm, some of our municipal clients are the village of Montebello, the village of Airmont, the village of Pomona, village of Haverstraw, so we work a lot in this area, and we prepare comprehensive plan updates and secret documents such as EISs for both public and private clients. A public scoping session for a DGEIS is a good thing. However, we believe that this step that you're taking tonight is out of the proper sequence. The description of the actions in your notice really are wrong because none of the three actions have been developed and there are no drafts to review. Typically, when you have a positive declaration and set up a scoping session, there is a draft comprehensive plan on the table. There are draft code amendments on the table, and in this case, there are not. So that really the action is just not at the right time. The work that that needs to be done is a full comprehensive plan with a draft produced before we do this step. The last comprehensive plan was in 2004, and comp plans are meant to be updated every 5 to 7 years. So the current comprehensive plan, since it hasn't been revisited in about 15 plus years, work on the entire plan is overdue. Back in 2018, August 2018, the town was looking for volunteers for a strategic plan steering committee, and we found that very encouraging, and that it looked as if a town-wide comprehensive plan effort would be underway. But then in January, you worked with the public, with charrettes on just the northeast Ramapo area, and we think there should be a lot more of those type of public sessions looking at the entire community. When you do a draft comp plan and put it out with a GEIS, a DGEIS, and a public scoping section, when that happens, it should include evaluation of the 2004 comprehensive plan. So if you would like to, some of these things, obviously, you could add into your scoping that I'm going to bring up now. But I'm almost reluctant to give you specific comments on what we want to add to the scope because we don't believe we should be doing the scope right at the moment. We should be waiting until you have a draft plan. The method of creating a comprehensive plan isn't to use a secret scoping session, but it's to do public participation with the comp plan committee, usually for about a year and a half, and looking at a whole community. Once again, because the secret positive declaration was made without draft plans to review, we think it's issued in error. The EAF forms, we don't understand how you could answer questions in an EAF form about the impacts of the proposed action when the action is really not been developed and there's no draft to answer questions about. If you're looking for input on what amendments to make to comp plan and codes, we would recommend you continue with the SHRED public input type process and the comprehensive plan committee. We did note on the website, you do have posted a charrette presentation from January 23rd, 2019. But there's really no indication that that is a draft plan for Northeast Ramapo. That was a presentation made at the beginning of the session before the public had input at that session. So we really have no record of which of those ideas are an actual idea that's being proposed in a plan. Those are just ideas presented at that one session. In section 8 of your scoping document, you lay out out what you're calling alternatives to no action, which is a requirement of seeker. We've reviewed those 9 items, and they really aren't alternatives to a comprehensive plan amendment action or town code amendment action, but rather it's sort of a laundry list of good planning ideas that ought to be included in a plan if you were to write one. And the alternatives really aren't full alternatives, but aspects of planning that could appear in different alternatives. For instance, form-based code could be designed with different treatments along road corridors or areas in your open space, and could include provisions for design standards in transition areas. So just saying alternative transition areas, alternative road corridors, alternative form-based code, that really doesn't make sense to us. We'd like to see a draft comprehensive plan for Northeast Ramapo and the rest of the community developed with aspects of all 9 alternatives, with the development areas where development is proposed defined. If you could imagine someone coming into the planning board and saying, we want you to do seeker review of our proposed development, but we don't have a location, we don't know how big it is, and we're not sure what it is, but we want to do a scope of the EIS for it, that doesn't make sense. You really need something to start with in order to determine the EIS for its impacts and what the scope of that EIS should be. Once again, in conclusion, the idea of a public scoping session on DGEIS for the comp plan update is a good thing, but just not right now. We'd like to see the draft of the plan with some ideas of what are being proposed. Then we can talk about how to study the impacts of the proposal once there is one. And we've submitted a memorandum with 11 points with details expanding on my remarks. But once again, I've made a decision along with Rosa that we weren't going to fill this presentation here tonight with lots of details about the scope, since we really don't believe that it's time to do this step. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lockman.